when we look into our idea of a self-care list, what should it really look like? I think it should have a lot more depth to it. If we're just thinking of putting things on our list that could be checked off at the end of the day and therefore accomplish our self-care, then I think we're missing the point of the whole thing. We want to make sure that we have an overall objective of these self-care tasks, and they should all be kind of pointed to one direction. So if we take the example of sleep, we don't want to have uh, sleep better as one, facial as another, stretch as another, and eating well as another. They're actually completely different things in the sense of how we want to undertake them. So it's better to say that we make sleep our headliner. And then we say, well, how are we going to really achieve this greater amount of sleep so that we can improve our self-care or improve our health or restore ourselves to our kind of balanced point? And in this way, we see that we might have, well, it is actually staying up late that's causing the lack of sleep, or it is the overall stressful nature of I'm living my life that's making it harder for me to sleep, or I can't calm down, my mind is running too much, so I can't sleep. And in between these kind of what we call barriers to sleep, we'll be able to see an even deeper cause. Well, I need to wind down before bed. Not only do I need to wind down, I need to deal with the things that are stressing me. That's a little bit more appropriate. What are those things? How are you going to address them? How are you going to know if you got it right? How are we going to make sure that we're not compensating by doing doing something else? Normally, we know what we should do. It's the challenge of doing what we need to do that is the hard part. And we do need help with that. Although it might seem pretty easy, I should be able to do it myself because I know what it is. If that were true, you would have had it done already. And that's the truth of the matter. So we have to be a little bit more compassionate and understanding about ourselves so that we can improve the kind of overall goal. So if we ask for a little bit of help, that's going to help us in the long run tremendously. When we're also looking at these checklists of self-care, we want to make sure that it has a certain amount of qualities. The quality should be that it is a long-term goal, and these are steps to it. These steps are things that you have to work on and then reevaluate to show your improvement. In accomplishing these steps, you should feel that your energy, if we're talking about sleep, has improved tremendously. You should feel less stress. You should feel more calm. You should be able to deal with high intense situations a lot better. All these things are a part of getting better sleep. You see, when you do that, you're restoring actually everything about yourself. In return, you should see progress in several areas that you might not even think would be affected by this pursuit of getting more sleep. And this is generally more accustomed to the proper creation of a self-care list. One focus, many skills and tasks that you have to be able to kind of get better at so that you can move forward in this goal. If you're already good at it, again, you wouldn't need to make the list and you wouldn't have the problem. So we have to be realistic with ourselves in that respect. Hopefully that was a little bit of clarification for you guys when it comes to making a self-care list. It should be a lot more in-depth and long-lasting than just the regular treat myself mentality behind a certain kind of self-care. And I say this again just to highlight the fact that although things might have pieces of self-care in them, if they're not restorative completely in nature and deal with the initial challenge, then we can't really say that they are self-care, but they are imitations of the real thing. Thank you very much, and as always, feel free to email us at designfitness.ca, and we would be happy to answer your questions.